Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Jeff, glad you're here. I got a video here I want to play for you all. It's from Kyle Kalinsky, and he's going to talk about Tim Walz. So let's go to that video, and then we'll break it down here on the other side.
Tim Walz, Crystal, I think he's been doing a pretty good job lately. He came out of hiding. It's become very apparent to me that the Kamala team really did kind of try to hide him.
Yes.
Which makes no sense, because you picked him because he was great in cable news hits. He was really good. He had moments that went viral. People liked him. You got along well with him. And then you bring him on and basically say, like, I'm going to handcuff you. And the thing that you did that we know you're really good at, you're not allowed to do that anymore.
Right.
So
the only experience people are going to get of you is during a debate when you have already told us you're bad at debating.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. But,
yeah.
like, he's reemerged now as honestly one of the leaders. Like, got Bernie doing the anti-oligarchy tour. AOC is joining him with that. You got some fighters like Jasmine Crockett. But Tim Walz has really come out of nowhere, and he sort of was like, I might run in 2028. These guys on the other side are Nazis and fascists. People are going to expect us to do universal health care this time around. They're not going to expect tweaks around the edges.
Yeah.
He spoke to Greasy Gavin and really exposed him, like, without even trying. It was kind of interesting. He's like, Gavin was like, sort of, you got to hand it to Steve Bannon. And Tim Walz is like, these are bad people. Like, what are you talking about?
And that's the thing about him is, like, you know, I probably, if Gavin Newsom had said that, I would have launched into some long diatribe about, well, really, Steve Bannon says this and he does that, and, like, you know, he'll go along with, he'll claim that he's against the tax cuts for the rich, but then he just goes along. Like, I'd probably do a whole soliloquy, and Walz is able to get his point across just in that one moment, just being like, these are bad guys, and it's like, oh yeah, you just kind of totally undermined his whole thing of doing a whole song and dance with these dudes. And that was an interesting exchange. There was a little bit more to it than that, but it illustrated there are two very distinct camps in the Democratic Party right now. One that wants to capitulate and one that wants to fight. And right there in that moment, in a very obviously, like, diplomatic and civil way, it was clear Gavin Newsom is in the let's capitulate and, you know, have a grand old time with Charlie Kirk and Michael Savage and Steve Bannon. And Tim Walz is in the, no, you have to stand up. You have to fight with these people, and you cannot just, like, capitulate to them.
So now he's doing a tour where he's sort of doing what Bernie's doing. He's going around the country. He's not doing speeches in the purple districts. He's going to red districts and purple districts and doing town halls where the Republican Congress people are refusing to show up because Mike Johnson told them, like, hey, dog, don't go.
Yeah. You
about to get reamed, son.
Yeah.
And so he was like, I'll go. And so we're getting some moments coming out of these town halls. And he posted this. I'm curious your thoughts, how intentional this was, like, versus he posted it not expecting the reaction that he got, right? But this is from one of the town halls. He has this moment where he's basically mocking Elon Musk and talking about how he loves it when the Tesla stock goes down.
Yeah.
Right? And then we'll get to the reaction from the right in a minute, but first watch the video.
Some of you know this on the iPhone. They've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. So, and if you own one, we're not blaming you. You can take dental floss and pull the Tesla thing off, you know, and take out, just telling you.
So first of all, it looks like, many people have pointed this out, it looks like he's doing his Netflix comedy special.
Yeah.
Right?
He's, like, working the crowd.
He's working the crowd. He's standing up. It looks like a stand-up comedy routine.
He's very comfortable in his skin there. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And of course, I'll let you guess what the right-wing reaction was to this.
With maturity and grace.
So they all come out just 100 miles an hour, flipping out, you know, basically being like, he's rooting for the downfall of American companies. And then, of course, like, the House Judiciary account said that. The Republican House Judiciary account. People immediately dug up, like, here's your tweet where you went after Bud Light
and Target
this company and that company. Like, oh, you went after an American
Disney,
company.
Remember Ron DeSantis did a whole like jihad against Disney and his state, and was like a hero for that, you know?
That account tweeted like love for Kanye like a few years ago, right? And so they're all fucking clutching their pearls. They're all, and I like it just. It drives me crazy, Crystal. These people said nothing when Elon Musk slashed pediatric cancer research. They said nothing.
Right.
But now Tim Walz makes a joke at Tesla's expense. Oh, this is unconscionable for a former VP candidate and a politician in America.
This is practically terrorism. I mean, that's really the point they're at. Like, Trump literally said that vandalizing Teslas or Tesla dealerships is going to be treated as domestic terrorism now. Like, that's where we're at. And of course, it's like hilariously ridiculous, too, this supposedly working class party that's now organizing themselves around propping up the stock and buying the vehicles of the richest man on the planet. Like Sean Hannity doing a sales pitch on his show, Donald Trump, of course, doing the whole sales pitch on the White House lawn. And you had Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, who did another Tesla pitch, directly told people they should buy Tesla stock on Fox News yesterday.
Totally illegal, by the way, completely illegal.
It's absolutely insane. I mean, the only thing you can say about it is like, it clearly has bothered Elon, like clearly. Now, whether or not, Tesla makes up about a third of his net worth. The stock is still probably wildly overvalued just based on the number of cars that they sell and based on the fact that he, being so closely associated with Tesla, like he is destroying this company. In Europe, they have other options too, by the way. They can buy a BYD car from China, which is better than, the technology that we have here at this point. And they have no interest. They hate Elon and they have no interest in buying his vehicles anymore. There was a survey that came out. 94% of Germans were like, there is no way in hell I would buy a Tesla. So yeah, he's completely screwed himself over here. There's been a lot of speculation about he used Tesla stock as collateral in order to finance his purchase of Twitter. And at some point, if the stock drops far enough, then there would be a margin call and he'd have to like come up with cash to make up the difference, basically. I don't think I've seen some speculation about where that would be. I don't think anyone knows for sure. But, there's a real financial repercussion here. And then in addition, like this is his ego is very much wrapped up in this as well. So I think this is the first thing that's like really actually seems like it's gotten to him.
Definitely. So Elon was actually like nearly crying on Sean Hannity's show the other night.
That's right.
Sean Hannity was like, Elon, thank you for joining me. Let me tell you, these Tesla cars sure are swell. He said they could go 0 to 60 in 0.2 seconds. And even Elon was like, no, it's 2 seconds. It's not 0.2 seconds. It's 2 seconds.
0.2. I don't even want that.
These are fine American cars, sir. Aren't they wonderful? And Elon's like, yes, I don't understand why people are coming after it. And it's like, I hate this game that we're playing where that's pure acting. Oh, why would anybody? Oh, I don't know. Maybe, like I said, you cut pediatric cancer research. By the way, strike one, you're out. You don't need a 2 and 3. That's it. Strike one, you're out. Cutting pediatric cancer research is enough to piss people off in this country to the point where they do some shit about it. But beyond that, how many more things has he done? He's fired between 100,000 and 250,000 government workers illegally, including veterans, including disabled veterans. For the first time ever, we now have Social Security payments that are not going out because they fucked with Social Security and fired like 70,000 people at the Social Security Administration.
Yeah.
Right? They're targeting Medicare. They're targeting Medicaid. They destroyed the anti-scam police, the CFPB. They're firing flight safety officials at the same time that planes are crashing. You don't get to do this where you do every horrible thing in the world and then you're like, God, why are these people mad at me?
I know.
And the other thing he does, he pretends like, bro, George Soros probably like organized this, bro. It's like, can you please shut the fuck up?
Yeah.
You're full of shit. You know you're lying. Like, I'm at the point with these people. It's not like, oh, he actually thinks that and he's just wrong. No, he knows he's lying. Stop fucking lying.
Yeah.
You know why people are mad at you. Stop
course.
it. It's also the fucking Zig Heils that you did, you fucking asshole.
How about that? I mean, what, you think George Soros organized the entire world?
There were over 100 anti-Tesla protests. Over 100 last week. Over 100.
Yeah, not to mention, like, the sales drops speak for themselves. In Europe, Tesla sales are down almost by half. In Canada, I think they're down by like 70%. In the US, they're down by double digits. In China, they're down by double. Like everywhere, they're down. And it's because you have this toxic man baby who is destroying all of our meddling in politics around the world, etc. To go back to the Tim Walz point, though, you were saying, like, I don't know how intentional this was. The fact that he clipped the video and posted it on Twitter.
But I don't think he expected the negative reaction from the right. And maybe we have a disagreement on this. I view Tim as almost like a little precious flower. Like, I think he's sort of naive.
You think so?
Yeah, I think he's like,
I
like a country boy who's like,
I think he knew
I'm going to tell it straight.
I think he knew he was stirring the pot.
You do think so?
I think he knew he was stirring the pot.
Look, I hope you're right. Because in the world I'm describing where he didn't realize that it would lead to this backlash, he actually looks at the backlash and he's like, I don't know if I like getting this backlash.
Because
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas if you're baiting it and you want that, oh, you're the 2028 guy for sure, bro.
Well, I think Democrats, I mean, it's so obvious how this has gotten under his skin. Like we were just saying, there's a whole of government effort now to sell Teslas. Elon is constantly posting about Tesla, reposting like right-wing influencers who are buying the car. Like,
but the Democrats, these dealerships are burning down, right? And I heard Mark Kelly just came out and was like, I don't condone, burning down the dealerships or whatever. And so Tim Walz, in my mind, I imagine, he sees the dealerships burning down and then he sees that he posted this and he's thinking like, I didn't mean it like that. You know what I'm saying? But to your point, if you're right about this was planned. This was planned. He's riding the wave on the left and among liberals of like, fuck Elon and the horse he rode in on, and he knew he was going to get this reaction, and he did it anyway, and he wanted that reaction, then he's the one. He's the one. Because, Tim, I'm talking to you right now. This was good. You don't, if to the extent you feel bad about it, and did I cross the line? Or no. This is the game that the right plays all day, every day, and they run circles around leftists and liberals. They find some issue, they gin up the other side, they spend the rest of the week going around, I triggered the liberals, bro, we got more energy on our side now, fuck the liberals, bro. This is what they do. And it works. And we never do that. Because we always have, decorum, civility, maybe this goes too far over here, too far over there, we need to have principles or what. That era's over, dog. Now, you should be saying shit like this. Number one, because it makes sense. Number two, to purposefully piss these fucking assholes off. I want that. They are my enemy.
Yeah.
You are my enemy. My politics is based around saying, fuck those people. If you're cheering on cutting pediatric cancer research, fuck you. There is no middle ground. And so I hope you're right. I hope he baited them. And I hope he knows, they're melting down. And I like that. I revel in it.
I just think I think there probably is some of that because his instincts have been very good, and he has not shied away from saying things that Republicans are going to pick up on and like lose their minds about. I mean, another thing he said, he got asked by I think by Dave Weigel about the effort to pardon Derek Chauvin, who's the
this was good.
cop who murdered George Floyd. And, first of all, he was like, okay, well, if they do, then he's going to spend his time in a state prison instead of a federal prison. He's not going to be free either way. And then the follow-up was like, well, why do you think that they're trying to do this? And he's like, because they're racist. Like, it's racism. And just flat out, not a long answer, just like, it's racism. That's what I think. And so, I don't know. I think his instincts are good here to not mince words, to come out swinging, come out fighting. Stand up to Greasy Gavin.
I don't want the consultants to beat that out of him. That's my fear.
Yeah.
I don't want the consultant class because every consultant around him, Tim, don't say that. You got to tread carefully. You don't want to piss these people off too much. Whereas a good consultant would be like, lean in more. Lean in more. Piss them off more. Do it.
Yeah.
Because that's the era that we're in.
Well, and to your point, I saw just some headline. I haven't read the article yet, but some of these like lame moderate Democrats in these like, Trump-ish districts were like, I don't know if Tim Walz is like, I don't necessarily want him coming here. I'm not sure he's amplifying the right messages and whatever. And it's like,
fuck you. Yeah. All the more reason to double down.
There would definitely be pressure on him to dial it back.
But that's going to make the people love him more if he keeps following through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally.
If he did all this on purpose, he's the one. I'm telling you. He's the one if he did all this on purpose because it shows you understand the media landscape. It shows that you understand. Baiting and overreaction from the other side is beautiful politics. Whereas think of somebody like Gavin Newsom right now.
Yeah.
That would be his nightmare right now.
Yeah.
He doesn't want the right yelling at him and being mad at him. He would rather have the left be yell at him and be mad at him like they were about Michael Savage and
That's
about
right.
Sloppy Steve and about Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
So he
not to
misread the
mention-
moment. He misread the moment.
He's so corporate too. He'd be like very upset about corporate America being mad at him. So, because that's his real political power
Yeah,
has always
that's right.
come from the donor class. I mean, he's got all the Silicon Valley donors, the Hollywood donors, and when push comes to shove, like Gavin did some good things in California, but when push comes to shove, if there's a question between the donor interest and like the working class interest, he sides with the donors.
We know where he's going.
That's his politics.
All right, so before I get on to the next one, let me just point out, since we're talking about Elon in the context of this speech, of this segment. Listen to this. Rick Wilson, the guy from, I think he's like Lincoln Project guy or whatever.
Something like that, yeah.
He wrote a piece on his Substack, and the title of the piece is "Kill Tesla, Save the Country." And of course, the idea is boycott Tesla, that we need to make Elon Musk feel this economic pain in order to fight back against this robber baron coup, right?
Yeah.
That's the point. So he posted that on Twitter. Boom, banned by Elon. The title is "Kill Tesla, Save the Country."
Wow.
They banned, the title is "Kill Tesla, Save the Country," and they're acting like Tesla is a person that you
this
called
is
for
like a
direct
direct
threat of
threat.
violence against. Like what?
Oh my God.
So anyway, for a month he's banned. A month he's banned for that.
That's
Meanwhile, some Libs of TikTok came out, literally tweeted, "This is domestic terrorism," and added the FBI. Right?
About Rick Wilson's tweet?
About Rick
Oh my
Wilson's tweet.
God.
Ready?
Oh my God.
And then, so wait for it. Of course, shout out to Evan on Twitter because he pointed this out. Libs of TikTok, she was reveling in the fact. There was an article written about her in USA Today. When Libs of TikTok posts, threats increasingly follow.
Mm-hmm.
She was holding that newspaper article and laughing about it. So for her, she does threats. And people are actually threatened. Actual people,
human beings,
are
not
threatened,
corporations.
literally
Yeah.
threatened. It's
Yeah.
happened many, many, many times.
Yeah.
This is her whole fucking thing. She thinks giggle, ha ha, hee hee, isn't that fun, right? But somebody writes an article saying boycott Tesla, and she asks the FBI and says this is domestic terrorism. See, that's what I'm talking about. Stop. There is no middle ground. There is no compromise. There is no negotiation. These people are scum. She is scum. Point that out. Fight them. All you can do is defeat these people. That's what they need to understand.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's absolutely right. And unfortunately, she has like the power of the federal government really in a lot of ways behind her.
Of course she
because
does.
of Trump
Yep.
saying that this is now domestic terror. It's going to be investigated as such, et cetera. So that's insane, though. I mean, the irony, too, is that the more that they show that this bothers them, like the more that Elon shows that this bothers him, the more people are going to go after
It was
Tesla.
after Trump said, if anybody touches a Tesla dealership, it's terrorism. It was in the week after that they were like 100 anti-Tesla protests, multiple things burned down.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is bothering
Oh,
you?
this is your weak spot?
Okay, all right. Because, yeah, other than that, there was a chance that he would have been impervious even to the, Tesla stock dropping and whatever. He has so much other money. The whole federal government's like backstopping his net worth at this point. So it would be possible that he would not really care, or at least not really show that he cared about this. So yeah, he's exposed a vulnerability, and there are plenty of people out there who want to take advantage of it.
That's right. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe.
Tim Walz, great at public speaking. He knows how to get the crowd going. Why? Well, he's got a personality. When he's up there, you don't feel like he's reading out of a playbook or a script, okay? He says a lot of things that come right off the cuff, and people like that. We don't like to be read to, okay? Kyle's right about the Democrat Party. I get the impression that there's a divide in the Democratic Party where one side wants to capitulate and the other side wants retaliation, wants to fight, wants to, take back what's being taken away. And certainly you get that from Chuck Schumer, and then you get the other side, AOC, Bernie Sanders. But yeah, I think if the Democrats can't unite behind this movement to oppose Trump, and we got half the party that's only, going to do it, what do you think is going to be accomplished that way? Elon Musk, getting all upset and everything because of his Tesla stock dropping. I mean, it's true. He did this to himself, really. I mean, when he went out in public and did those Sea Heils and stuff, he finished Germany. I mean, he finished his company in Germany. That was it. After that, Europe didn't even want nothing to do with Tesla. Okay, they would just as soon buy those kind of cars from China, and instead. I'm not really sure why they think that would be better, but because China has its own issues. But they're basically saying that, you know, we don't want somebody's influence in our country who's like that, you know. And we should be doing the same thing here. And we are, I think, but not all of us are on the same page. A lot of Americans are essentially just, like I said, either capitulate or fight. You know, and people don't seem to want to understand why there's so much anger out there against Elon, where there's people who do, and that's only because I think, you know, the message about Musk and his affinity for these Nazi-type ideals and people is just, you know, we need to hammer that home more so people understand it. But to have, you know, the government getting all pissed off, or the Republicans getting all pissed off that dealerships are getting vandalized and cars are getting burned and exploding and stuff like that, and that, oh, we need to get, you know, the FBI and all them, you know, during when Biden was president, you had people from the right wing out there protesting Target, Disney, Bud Light. You had all these things going on, and nobody was talking about, you know, getting the FBI on their cases and doing stuff like that. Okay, I mean, it was just these things were happening, and it's like it's okay for MAGA or Republicans to boycott companies, but when Democrats try to do that, it's not okay. You know, double standard. But you know what Doge, which, you know, Musk is attached to, he's creating a whole other set of problems for Americans there, you know, by, you know, like Kyle said, you know, he cut pediatric cancer research. I mean, who the fuck does something like that? I mean, we're talking about people's lives, little kids' lives, you know, and he's going to cut funding for research. You know, I thought we were supposed to cut, you know, fraud and waste and all that shit. How is research into cancer considered to be wasteful and fraud? That's what I'd like to hear from Musk. Make that make sense, you know, when he does shit like that. And like Kyle said, there's no middle ground in that debate. You're either a human being or you're not. And you see, that's when people hear stuff like that, they get even more incensed to vandalize and oppose Tesla, whatever, you know. You know, and then, you know, cutting veterans as help, you know, their department of their workers and, you know, crisis line, cutting people there. Where's the wasteful spending there, Mr. Musk? You know, why are you making all these cuts, but you're not telling anybody a goddamn thing about why are you cutting here? What's wasteful here? You know? He can't answer that. I don't think that's why the press won't even ask him, because maybe they're not allowed to. I don't know. But in a different time, the press would be all over this shit, trying to figure out where is the waste here that justifies you making cuts here in these very important areas. You're talking about people's health and their lives, and you're making cuts in those areas? Come on. And then, you know, firing flight safety officials, you know, at a time when we've had some issues here with planes crashing everywhere, okay? Again, why do you want to put lives at risk? You see what I'm saying? Everything that he's been cutting here has something to do about people's lives. If you can explain to me where there's wasteful spending and fraud in those areas, okay, I would be grateful to entertain your explanation. But if you're not going to do that, then I cannot support you making cuts in those areas. And I think you owe it to the American people, Mr. Trump or Mr. Musk, whoever who's doing this shit, either one of you needs to come out and fucking explain specifically why you made these cuts here. Where the hell is the fraud and the waste in that area? We need to know this, because if you want us to support you, well, you got to tell us. You got to explain it to us. I don't think that's a whole lot to ask for. I really don't. I don't think it's a lot to ask, because it's like, if you want me to buy your Tesla car, which you shouldn't be selling there on the government lawn, okay? If you want us to buy that fucking car, you got to give us a damn good reason why we should. Okay? And you got to explain it to people. You know, in just a single week, you have all these anti-Tesla protests around the world, okay? That's telling something. You should be taking that as a hint, is look, you're not talking enough to the people. You're not explaining anything to the people. You're not asking people to understand what you are doing and why you're doing it. All we know is you're fucking with people's lives, and we don't like that. We do not like that. Like I said, Americans, and I'm just talking about this country, but Americans are selfish people, and if there's nothing in it for us, there'll be nothing in it for you. You want us to support you, you know, you got to pay. You know what I'm saying? You got to pay us. You want our support, you got to pay us. Not money, but in favors and what we want here to make our lives easier. You got to give us. You take away from us, and we take away from you. Doesn't that make sense? I mean, if you're a businessman, that should make perfect sense to you. You got to give to get. And if you want our support, you got to give. And if you're not going to give, you're not going to get.